Maneva na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Talking about Mr. Martin Kpebu. Chief, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's a privilege. The legendary KS.
You know, yeah, when they call it legendary, it means you're due for retirement. It's just, yeah, bro.
Oh,
yeah, say
why you are the Momo, else they be a more about to say. Say, Hana Kisi, Ebe, Obe confess here. What better than Numutu? I dare to say, one show for Riata,
main perpetrator from our standpoint, the main perpetrator had no intention of returning back to the country. Of course, he had left the country earlier in the year during the transition. Now we should place this in proper context because we've attracted some flag that why did we allow him to go? Mr. Misa, he left before 7 January. Between 1st, I know there's that date, but I'm not going to mention it. All I'm saying is between 1st and 6th January, he had left. Who was in power during those few days? And we don't control the airports. We don't control the exit. The OSP doesn't control the exit points. But we are taking flag day in and day out. Why did we allow him? Let me put it this way. His cousin was president. Let's face facts.
Yeah.
Before John Dramani Mahama was sworn in on 7 January, Nana Akufo-Addo was the president.
Yeah.
That was his cousin. We didn't watch him leave. We were powerless. That is the truth. We were powerless. We saw him leave, but we couldn't prevent him from leaving at the airport because we couldn't. Now we can rely on Ghana Immigration Service to block someone. Now we can rely on national security.
Before then you couldn't.
To block someone. Then, and at the time he left, you call up immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. You write to immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. And I'm saying this unabashedly. That was the situation we found ourselves.
You know, since then he's had headache. That's a legend. Perhaps your hour and everything, I'm masked in.
Thank you. Well, we try and create a platform where people can speak the truth and speak it freely. And that's all we're looking at.
Yes.
And my first question to you,
yes, sir.
You have actually called the office of the OSP a crime scene.
That there are a lot of corruption cases that are brewing in the OSP itself. The Office of Special Prosecutor has become a crime scene. Okay? And I'm telling this to you on authority. Let's go conduct a poll in the OSP office today. You will see the myriad of allegations against Kisi. Look, ask yourself. I want Kisi Jabin to answer this question. Are there 2 employees of the OSP who are currently working as like house helps in his home? In his home, are there 2 members of staff who are currently working as house helps? Meanwhile, they are on the OSP payroll. Okay, Kisi Jabin should tell the people of Ghana who is Kwabena Boating Edu, popularly called Baron. Who is Kwabena Boating Edu? The Office of Special Prosecutor has become a crime scene.
Yes.
That's a loaded charge, man.
Yes. And I'm not running away from it.
A crime scene?
Yes, because once I have allegations against the head, the head is the face of the organization. So if I have charges against the head, ipso facto, it's difficult to extricate the head from the organization. That's it. So as long as the head goes in and out of the organization, then you see that you say it's a crime scene because he's there. Titineni, he's the chairman, he's the everything there. So as long as he's there.
Let's break it down. Being a lawyer will help me break it down. When something is described as a crime scene, it means that it doesn't have any integrity. It means that there are too many things going on wrong.
Yes.
It means that there are so many things that are, how do I put it, worthy of probing and investigating.
No, absolutely.
So what is making the OSP office a crime scene?
Good. So what I'll do is that I won't put out all the arsenals, all right? But I'll just put out a few and then we would go on from there. Because, I'd already promised Ghanaians that I'll also be putting a petition. Currently, there are 16 petitions.
16?
Yes. Last Saturday on News File on Joy FM, Hassan Tampuli, the MP for, I think, Gushegu, mentioned that he had been told there were 15, 1 week on. Kisi Jabin has not been able to contradict that. Then on Tuesday, Apostle Abraham Lincoln Labi, the one-man demonstrator, went
I saw him,
his.
yeah.
So that became 16. And I'm preparing mine.
So that would be 17?
Yes, if only another citizen doesn't go ahead of me. So that
so these are all petitions
yes.
that Kisi Jabin is corrupt, or he's just not fit to be there. What are you petitioning precisely?
Good. So I'll mention some. So when we say it's not all that will be corruption, because I've not seen all the 16 petitions, we cannot pinpoint to say corruption. Mine will include corruption. And under the law, it's not only for corruption. There's what we call stated misbehavior, incompetence, and then these issues of integrity. So let me see. Yes, Section 15 of the law, there is stated misbehavior or incompetence, then incapacity to perform the functions of the office. And then let's come to willful violation of the official oath or oath of secrecy. Then D, conduct which brings or is likely to bring the office of the special prosecutor into disrepute, ridicule, or contempt. Or B, is prejudicial or inimical to the economy or security of the state. So you see the one...
I'm picking something I've said here about the oath of secrecy of the office. Has he broken any oath of secrecy?
So that one, no, that's not one of the grounds that I'm using.
Okay,
but
these are the grounds that one can use.
So stated misbehavior, incompetence. Then there are conduct which is likely to bring the office into what? Disrepute. Contempt or ridicule. So quickly, let's do that one. Contempt or ridicule. Look, Kisi came, your interview, he came and said, among others, that he went to the National Investigative Bureau, didn't get help. That's in the context of trying to arrest Ofuriata. Went to National Security, didn't get help. Went to Immigration Service, didn't get help.
We were not getting the cooperation at the time from other security agencies.
You weren't getting any cooperation?
Oh, why not?
You had asked for them?
Oh, we asked for all that, but we were not. It was as if there was a policy of block the OSP out. That was what we were facing, and that was the circumstances under which we were being expected to perform national security. Nope, at the time. The situation is different now. National Signals Bureau, nope, at the time. The situation is different now. National Intelligence Bureau, zero. At the time, the situation is different now. I mean, the security setup was stacked up against the OSP, so we will not be able to perform our job. This was the situation in which we found ourselves. And I'm being asked how I let Ken Ofuriata through this.
It turned out it's false. This morning I read...
Really?
Yes, I've read a report from a response from the National Investigative Bureau where they answered to me that no, Kisi Jabin didn't come.
He never approached them?
That's the current administration. And I've spoken with officers in the past administration, the people at the helm in the past administration. They also
let me get this right. If he was to approach them, is this something he can just on the phone call tell them, or it has to be in writing and submitted and recorded that this is the record I have that I was in touch with them?
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be?
Thankfully for me, at least being a lawyer, I was a bit smart on that one. So in my own letter to them, what I did was that I didn't say was it in writing. So I can read instructive parts of my letter to you so that you see that I didn't say it must be in writing. Director General has. I said, let me just go straight. Specifically, I'm requesting information on the following. Whether the Office of the Special Prosecutor has, at any point in time, formally requested the assistance of the NIB to arrest former Minister for Finance, Ken Ofuriata. So my emphasis is this, formally requested.
You didn't state writing. And they are saying there was no formal request.
So whether orally or written. So that's it. So that's it. This nails it. So you see that even on the charge of the conduct which brings or is likely to bring the office of the special prosecutor into disrepute, ridicule, or contempt. This is made up because your video is very clear. It means that when I present my petition, the committee will be calling you. You KSM, you have to testify. Your cameraman, so they will ask you to produce the original, not just the versions. I've seen the link, but usually for issues of authenticity, it means that KSM, you would be asked to come and testify and give the committee formally the video. That's the whole clip, and then they will watch it because they say source, authenticity, chain of custody. Are you the one authorized to have it? Blah blah. You were part of the interview, so they will take your thing and then look at it. He said it that Oforiatta. This is the context. He said when Oforiatta was about to travel and wrote to the former chief of staff and the incoming chief of staff, he, Kisi Ejabe, intercepted it. That's your interview with him. Intercepted, so it means that he got the letter. He got it, then he said he went to national security to help him prevent Oforiatta from traveling. Didn't get help. He went to immigration, didn't get help. He went to national security, didn't get help.
We were not getting the cooperation at the time from other security agencies. National security, nope. National Signals Bureau, nope. National Intelligence Bureau, zero. I mean, the security setup was stacked up against the OSP, so we will not be able to perform our job. This was the situation in which we found ourselves. And I'm being asked how I let Ken Oforiatta through this. Then, at the time he left, you call up immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. You write to immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. And I'm saying this unabashedly. That was the situation we found ourselves.
It turned out that, look, even if the two other organizations say he came there for lying about NIB alone, this is because you see now the
so your response is from NIB.
Yes, NIB. Yes, this NIB. So that's disrepute because since then you see that he's been the talk of time. Go to social media, you see citizens saying he should go. He's outlived his usefulness. He has embarrassed, and even look at this. So he has run down NIB. We know NIB, BNI. Hey, BNI that exudes a lot of, people are careful. You don't want your conduct to go before BNI. Now, with what he's done, he has it's an attempt, and it has succeeded to some extent. Reduce BNI in the eyes of citizens. Yes, because so that's how come we are granting these interviews, and BNI is done very well. We have to thank Mr. Charles Kpebu for removing his mouth from this matter, like we say in Ghanaian.
So other two other two institutions.
Our letters are with them too. So I believe they will also quickly respond.
So if it happens that the two of them say, oh yeah, he did get in touch with us and we didn't do anything, does that absolve him?
No, it doesn't. This one alone, even for putting NIB or BNI in it, it's caused too much damage. That's how come, look, KSM, I say everywhere, look, and I'm a teacher. And a teacher, amongst all the things, if not for anything at all, a teacher is humble because you don't know it all. It's an exchange between you and your students. KSM, when your interview came and I came and commented, 2-3 days after, if Kisi Ejabe had come out to apologize that, oh, it's a slip or anything, this matter would have died. It would have died. So what I mean is that humility, we all make mistakes. I'm not coming to your show to behave as if I don't make mistakes. No, I go to court, I get it wrong sometimes. There's no lawyer in Ghana, especially I can talk about the court. I don't know about every lawyer, right? But at least those that come to court. I don't know any lawyer who practices fully. When I say fully, so you are not overly selective in your cases. If you take generally cases that come through the door, you can't win every case. I'm not aware of a lawyer who can win everything. No, the great stalwarts also lose. I've seen in law reports, you see Peter Alajete, he's lost a case. You see other big weights, the big weights, right? They lose. The great Kwame Tete. Those are the big, and even you interviewed lawyer, sorry, recently. Yeah, sorry, is a colossus at the bar. I'm not sure sorry is won all his cases. Yeah, I can remember. He's not won all. Yet, if you come to the bar, so please, let's be specific. I talk about litigators. That's lawyers who go to court. You see, sorry, you want to give him way. Like, you stand aside for him to pass. Because those are the great weights. Ace and Kuma and Co. But they can't win all. No lawyer. Much less those of us who are even behind them. Okay, so the point I'm underscoring is that so there's room for humility. And the judges, even the Supreme Court, they also make mistakes. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with coming to apologize when you said something false and citizens are beginning to agitate. He could have stopped all of this, but he dug in into his heels. He dug in. Sammy Darko was running from station to station and then rationalizing these false statements. Then even from frying pan to fire, they decided to invite me when the matter seemed to have died.
I was going to get to that next, you know. Was the invitation, now that you've mentioned it, was the invitation for you to come in there and prove the issue of a crime scene?
If you put it bluntly, yes. Though it's masked in very nice English language. But the kura, if you say chimu, the kura, they say, yes, bring further evidence because they want to see what I have. Yes, it helps.
Did you take evidence to back what you're saying?
Some of it is out there. Now you see I've gotten the National Intelligence Bureau letter. So if everything, I'm putting emphasis on if the right atmosphere and the right conditions are met, I will tender all these things for them. And the corruption, maybe let's say the most difficult one, your crime scene one. Oh, we can go into a bit of it. I'm not running away from it.
I like to hear a bit of...
Oh, a bit.
Yeah.
A bit. Naturally, I won't put out all the arsenals. So the easier ones to prove. Number one, look, there's a case of Kingsley, what's his surname? He used to be in charge of the scholarship secretariat. He was standing against Atachia, right?
Yeah.
So there's that case where there was some corruption. The other individuals, they'll be witnesses. So I don't want to mention their names. They'll be witnesses, right? Yeah, he got them to do a smear campaign against Atachia, etc.
Who got them to do a smear campaign?
Kingsley. Smear campaign, yes, against Atachia, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's an OSP report. The investigators have written, or maybe I'll share it with you. It's not a secret. So eventually the matter was reported to the OSP. Investigators did their work, etc. They were about to arrest Kingsley. Kingsley stopped them.
Kingsley stopped them from arresting Kingsley?
Yes.
On grounds of...
he's my friend, etc. And when you say the loss of corruption, look, corruption is not always about money. If you do it, and it benefits, somebody, okay? You do it to benefit a friend, a family relation, etc. That's it. It's also corruption, even if you've not taken one CD. So corruption doesn't emphasize only exchange of money, bribery and corruption. No. Once he said that's his friend.
What was the grounds for wanting Kingsley arrested?
So as I said, there was some corruption in the scholarship secretariat. Yes. There was corruption in it. And then this other guy was brought in to do a smear campaign against Atachia, etc. So we have the tapes. I'll present them, and the people will line up and testify. So when I see people say, people bring corruption, but I mean, KSM, at my age, am I so dumb that if I'm not standing on anything, I just come and just say it? You see, I've said it. I've said it.
So you actually prevented the arrest of Kingsley?
Yes.
Based on grounds that he's a friend or a relative?
Yes, he's a friend, etc. So we'll be relying on that. And then you see how the other witnesses have confessed, etc. There are tapes, interrogation tapes, etc. Yeah. And it's not even new. This matter has even been there. So any
I remember way back, the Kingsley Atachia, riff-raff.
Yes, and then unfortunately, when he now went on to even sack one of the investigators of the case, so can you imagine? He will spill all of it. Yeah, he will spill all of it. There's no brainer. So when I see people saying, hey, people bring evidence, those who support, I'm like, so am I so dumb? Am I dumb? I won't put all the arsenals about this metisu kakrachiro.
Well, it was stated that they were trying to reach you. I think I heard that you had been over 15 times trying to get in touch with you, and you were not responding.
Which is false.
It's false?
Absolutely false. I've even, we did, but because your platform is also very huge, let me use it to clear this. It's false. You see, KSM, I went there the first time on Wednesday. Even before I do a long narration, let me give short answers so that we don't get lost. KSM, my office to the OSP, let's say, even if you are walking and it's a lazy walk, it's not brisk, maximum 15 minutes. maximum
close.
1.5, close to the same as the number of calls they said they had given to you. So instead of calling me, attempted to call 15 times.
They could have come
they
over.
would have worked. Yes, my office is very
So
close.
to make it clear, there were no 15 calls made to
and
you.
I've dared Sammy Darko. I've told him that I'm giving consent. Every TV or radio program I do on this question, I say, I'm using your media. I'm giving consent. In case they bring a paper, which will not happen, and I fail to sign, giving my consent to MTN to release the call data, they can use this radio TV program.
As your consent?
Consent. They should bring it, and they should show how if 15 calls come through, naturally, as the owner of the phone, you'll be alarmed that, hey, what's happening, that somebody is trying. So by all means, even
15 missed calls from the OSP is alarming.
Yes, I would have by all means. I'm not saying that it's only 15 calls that can get my attention, but the problem is that because the number is unknown, you see, you go into a meeting, when you come out and there are missed calls, you see that a lot of the time we return the calls of the persons we know already, the numbers you've saved, because there are people you have a relationship with. So if you have 6 missed calls, and let's say 2, one from KSM, one from, let's say, Sammy Darko, naturally I'll respond to KSM and Sammy Darko before the
rest of the stuff that
so
numbers.
That's what I suffered. I couldn't return all the calls. Then the second short answer is that Sammy Darko, who is a director at the OSP there, he chats with me. He has my number. So when they were looking for me, it was what? Even Kisie Jabin has my number. They could have called me on phone. Because if you are using a strange number, the person calling me is a different officer. I don't know him. I was in a meeting, but let's say maybe 3-4 hours after you. Somebody more senior, and especially who has my number. As I said, Kisie Jabin has my number. Sammy Darko has my number. They could have used their phones to call. They didn't. So that's the second short answer. So number one, I said my office to the OSP, that's the Office of Special Prosecutor, I say walking distance, actually 15 minutes. Number two, Sammy Darko has my number. Kisie Jabin too has my number. There are other persons if they care to ask. So let's say in an organization, the way my sense of it works is this. Let's say the office is looking for Kpebu. They've used some strange number. Let's say even assuming without admitting that Kpebu intentionally refused to pick up. The next thing when we are looking for people is that in an organization, they will say, who has his number? Who amongst you? Meaning who has a relationship with him? And I'm saying that Kisie Jabin and Sammy Darko could have called me. There are other officers if they are
maybe it's official and they want an official number to call you because it's not a personal thing.
So it's not a problem. So, but don't come out and say I was running away, like I was just refusing to. That's all. It's not a problem. You want to do things officially, you think the system, then don't come out Sunday night. I was there when somebody, around 9-10 p.m., somebody drew my attention. That Sammy Darko says they've called me about 15 times. I said, what? So I had to go on Facebook and try to deny, etc. No, that's bad. I'm not, where am I running to? How? In any event, let's be clear. I'm not under any investigations. I haven't done anything wrong. All they're saying is that I should give further information to help the office. But unfortunately for them, you see, there was this other aspect. I used not to talk about it. I'll still leave out some details because it's not necessary. I mean, in SMP, so I guess like sometimes, that's me. I'm just yeah. So now let's go this way. When the two meetings, both meetings that I've attended so far, you are bringing subordinates to the boss. The accusations I've made concern the boss, and you are bringing subordinates to come and take the information to do investigation. KSM, can your cameraman, can Richard investigate you?
No.
Richard works for you. How can Richard be independent to investigate? It looks so laughable. It didn't show much, the word is not finished. It didn't show competence at all. The very things they did in Oforiata ran away. It's the same thing. Lawyer comes day one. The first meeting, we raise the issues that these are subordinates, and then another reason, conflict of interest against the first panel, one member, not the whole panel, the first time we met. And then the issue of they being genius, subordinates to Kisie Jabin. So naturally...
That was your objection?
Yes, the first meeting.
The first meeting.
So naturally, I should have told you that the second meeting, don't go and bring subordinates. Don't you have a board? So the second meeting, they brought subordinates again. So we now have to volunteer and show them that, Abai, if we are saying subordinates, aren't there some people above the special prosecutor? So look at the board. It's not conclusive that the board exactly qualifies, but at least on paper they look like they are on top of the special
Let me
prosecutor.
understand this. So you were meeting the subordinates?
Yes.
They were the ones supposed to investigate you?
Yes, they were not to take the information
the information,
and do the investigation. I said no. So it means that they are to do the investigation. Subordinates can't properly investigate their boss. How will they get promoted? How? Who born dog? You want to investigate your boss and still get promotion and feel happy in the office? No. Even assuming you can do it, of course, practically it's possible some people will be fearless, they can do it. But in law, there is that the optics, and thank you, journalists as a fourth estate, you like issue of optics.
Yeah.
Because so the appearance of it will never give justice. The appearance of it, especially if he's exonerated, everybody say, but they are subordinates. What do you expect? So because there is that risk that the subordinates can even genuinely exonerate him, and it will create the semblance of injustice. Don't do it. Don't use subordinates at all, so that you avoid this semblance of injustice. So we have to now show them that maybe the board, but even the board, as we are
Did
researching,
they agree then that they shouldn't use subordinates?
Oh, to the extent that, so that ended the meeting. So let's get this. So technically, once we are saying that these subordinates are not independent of the special prosecutor himself, Kisi Ejabe, and the other director, it presumes, and so that means that we will not answer the questions. So please, viewers, anybody who sees things like stories that Sammy Darko gave, it didn't show competence at all. When you've raised objection that this chairperson, this member cannot do the work, it doesn't arise. The question of you refuse to answer questions doesn't arise. Do you accept that you sent a subordinate? And you see, KSN, even before we started going to the special prosecutor, the moment my invitation leaked, and so far I see I haven't put it out in the media. No, I try to be gentle on certain aspects. People started writing, why can the OSP investigate itself? Lay people, not lawyers. Because the names I saw, they are not, of course, I don't know all lawyers, but generally I have a fair sense of who a lawyer is. I don't think those are lawyers. There's a lot of non-lawyers started writing. And Oliver Bakavomo also did well. He also said, can OSP investigate itself, etc. So he should have even told them that, no, this thing, that's not the right thing. So you see why they say a lot of the time there's crowd wisdom. That's why democracy is crowd wisdom. When people put their minds together collectively, crowd wisdom. So you should have seen that, no, you can't use subordinates. So maybe at best, it should have been the board. But now there's jurisprudence showing that sometimes the best practice is that you set up a special committee outside the organization. Set up a special committee. So we are reading. Between now and Wednesday, we'll see where the reading will lead us to, and then we'll see where the chips will fall. Or maybe even we can take an adjournment to further read and see, because there's a lacuna in the law. So we have to check other advanced countries, etc. What do they do? The best practice.
So what is expected on Wednesday?
When?
Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. The next date is Wednesday. So Wednesday is what? Is that 3rd December?
That's 3rd.
Yes. Monday is 1st then. So Wednesday is 3rd at 2 p.m. I'll go. First, I was hiding all these things because I felt that, what I'm just to give the special prosecutor is extra information. So I don't like this media attention. But they have been going out. We go and meet quietly. Then Sammy Darko comes to put it on air, broadcast it. They attempt to call me, they don't get me. Then Sammy Darko goes. So it means that they want us to, of course, I've still tried to keep certain details. I don't want to embarrass them too much. You see, I want to be magnanimous in victory. I've won already. I've won. So I don't need to add more, insult to injury. So I'm still keeping a few details here and there. But he's the one who has so far publicly put out what happened at the first meeting and the second meeting. He even said that I was agitated. And he thought that's a good report. I was like, even assuming I was agitated. No, even assuming, is it wrong? But let me choose my words. But it's so basic. You're a lawyer. You set up a committee. Even lay people who are not lawyers are telling you that, can OSP investigate itself? Okay, we come to the first meeting, we raise such issues, then you adjourn, only to remove the officer we said he's conflicted. Then you still bring us subordinates. So if I'm agitated, is it not even justified that you are being too slow? Because we are all lawyers, I thought from the training, you can see that if we are saying these are subordinates, they cannot be independent. Your mind should tell you that who is above Kisi? Maybe the board or let's form an independent committee. This simple thing they can't get. And yes, Sammy Darko is happy to come and write that Kpebu is agitated. So the agitation tells you that this simple thing, simple law and logic, you couldn't get. So why wouldn't a teacher be agitated that this small thing?
Maybe you were agitated because you were feeling boxed in.
No, but
name happened.
So you see, why would I be? I mean, come on. Oh, I mean, I've been in this game for a little bit, at least continuously on TV. So I know that I have to be careful. And we are not. It's not a personal mission. We are doing it for Ghana. From the bottom of my heart. We all want the Office of Special Prosecutor to succeed. So it's with our millers.
Yeah. It is not your view that the office will succeed or the Special Prosecutor is not the right choice. You say we are doing it for Ghana. So at this point that we want to build Ghana and set things straight with mice and everything, are you suggesting that the choice, this Special Prosecutor cannot make that happen?
No, he can't. No.
He can't.
Kisei Jabe is not the man for the job. He's
Why?
not. Look, a lot of things. You see, at the beginning, we all knew it. But let's give credit where it's due. Martin Amidu was one of the first to put it down comprehensively in writing. Kisei Jabe worked for Gabi Darko and worked for Ufuriata. And these guys were very powerful in the Kufuor government. And these are relations of President Kufuor. And you know, because Ken Oforiatta was finance minister, you know, a lot of the contracts issued so far, they Special Prosecutor, they have 5 cases against Oforiatta. So it tells you that no, somebody Kisi haven't been close to Oforiatta, close to Gabi Darko, and ipso facto ex-president Kufuor. Kisei Jabe is not the man to do it. He's not, and thankfully, he has displayed a lot of the incompetence. Look at what he told you that he went to when he intercepted the letter Oforiatta wrote that he wants to travel. He went to NIB, didn't get help. National Security didn't get help. Immigration didn't get help.
We were not getting the cooperation at the time from other security agencies.
You weren't getting cooperation?
No, we're not.
You had asked for them?
Oh, we asked for all that, but we were not. It was as if there was a policy of block the OSP out. That was what we were facing, and that was the circumstances under which we were being expected to perform. National security, nope. At the time, the situation is different now. National Signals Bureau, nope. At the time. The situation is different now. National Intelligence Bureau, 0. At the time, the situation is different now. I mean, the security setup was stacked up against the OSP, so we will not be able to perform our job. This was the situation in which we found ourselves. And I'm being asked how I let Ken Oforiatta through this. Then, at the time he left, you call up immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. You write to immigration, no one will even bother to respond to you. And I'm saying this unabashedly. That was the situation we found ourselves.
When the simplest answer was around that, blow the whistle, come to the people of Ghana, do a press conference like Martin Amidu did when Kufuor was interfering with the work. And you see how Ghana became agitated when Martin Amidu came out to say so. And see, Kufuor has never recovered from the tag of mother serpent of corruption. Okay, and this thing is not just media. The Constitution gives, yes, even though we don't write expressly that the media is a fourth estate of the realm, but practically, if you look at the work the media does, that's how come. Over a century ago, the British parliamentarians said the media is a fourth estate. Now, the reason I'm opening the Constitution is that, so you will find that this thing that informed the people of Ghana is anchored in the preamble of the Constitution, okay? It's also anchored in the Article 1 of the Constitution. Then you have Article 35 and then Article 125. That's the theory of the sovereignty of the people. So in our Constitution, the ultimate bosses are the people of Ghana. So if as a public officer, somebody allegedly, because we have to be careful, in any event, NIB has already removed its mark from this allegation. The other two, at least, let's say allegedly, because they haven't admitted that they failed Kisei Jabe. So where a public officer is alleging that other state institutions are not helping, his strength is the constitution. Come out and spill the beans. Blow the whistle on wrongdoing. Blow the whistle. So you see that the constitution talks about sovereignty, right? All these provisions I've mentioned. So once you see that there is that sovereignty, it means that come and tell the people of Ghana that this is what somebody...
So you basically what you're saying is that was his option then. If the NIB or all the agencies that he said he contacted it and didn't help him, the only option he had was to come public and tell Ghanaians, I'm trying to do this and this and that, and I'm not getting the support.
Absolutely. And that's constitutional law. That is constitutional law, because that's what the constitution requires. Because we are the sovereign, we are the bosses. So if another employee, and so the other name for it, for other people who don't want to do too much constitutional law, another name for it is that you hear them say civic oversight, civilians, oversight over public institutions. So that's its other name. We have oversight, okay? We have oversight. So once people are interfering with the work, you have a right to come out and mention. So look at Article 1, Clause 1 of the Constitution. It says, the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in the manner and within the framework laid down, and within the limits, laid down in the Constitution. That's Article 1. You go to 35, you see it there. So that theory of sovereignty, and you can ask, political science professors, Professor Jampo and Co, they'll tell you, yes, that sovereignty requires that he should have come to tell the bosses. We are the bosses. Even the armed forces that we revere and respect so much, the armed forces are under us. That's how come their commander-in-chief has never enrolled as even a private or a major in the army. That's President Mahama. You see that when a civilian is appointed president, by constitution, he automatically becomes the commander-in-chief. The reason is that we control the armed forces, civilian oversight. So even the soldiers who are to fight war for us, I don't know much about war, etc., all right, and the rest of our citizens. Yet, the people who are the experts, even though they are experts, in order to tame them, so to speak, I don't mean in negative, to control them, we put a civilian, the president, who may never have been to any armed forces training. So civilian control of the military. And it's like that in most parts of this world. So this constitutional principle of sovereignty, don't play with it. Look, so Article 35, it says, Ghana shall be a democratic state dedicated to the realization of freedom and justice, and accordingly, sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana, from whom government derives all its powers and authority through this constitution. Then we'll go to 125, etc. So that's so we are the bosses as citizens. We are bosses. So if anybody is frustrating, you come up. And so you look at what Amidou did to President Kufuor. You see it. Did anybody ever say that, no, they will charge Amidou? No, you can't. He was living the constitution. This simple thing, Kisei Jabin couldn't do. So you see that there are issues of incompetence, apart from his closeness to Gabi Asare, Darko, Kufuor, and Oforiatta, etc.
Yeah, let me ask this. I've been in court some time ago. I don't remember the case, but I remember the lawyer saying to the judge, taking judicial notice of something. I don't know what it means, but would it be right in this case to say, take a judicial notice of the fact that the office was put in place, officially put in place by Nanado and Gabi Ojoshako and Oforiatta are both friends of Kisei Jabin, taking judicial notice of that? There's something worrying?
Absolutely, you are right. You got it right. So when you say taking judicial notice, it means that that thing is so common, okay? It's an indisputable fact, okay? So common and so known to everybody that you don't need to call a certain witness to come and tell us. No. So this thing you've said is out there. We've all known it for all this while since Kisi Ejabin came into office. I think was it August or September 2021. So even actually if I start from April, the time of his nomination, okay, that immediately Amidu came out. If you check Google Martin Amidu speaks, you see he came out, and we all know there are even lawsuits. You see Kisi Ejabin acting for Gabi or Darko, etc. So yes, you can take judicial notice, meaning that, of course, it's usually in this context, we know that KSM is not a judge. So when he says take it back, he's a host of this powerful program. So what he's saying is that he doesn't need a witness to now come and sit and tell us that Kisi Ejabin worked for Gabi or Darko, etc. No, it's judicial notice. It's there. If you Google, you see defamation suits that Kisi Ejabin was doing for Gabi or Darko, etc. If you Google, you see that Oforiatta and Gabi or Darko are related to ex-president Kufuor, etc. You don't need any other person to come and prove it. So that's judicial notice. It's a fact so commonly known that we don't need an expert or special witness to come and tell us. Yes.
So where we are now is that people like you and the many others so far, maybe 16 others, who are petitioning, sort of taking judicial notice that the circumstances for Kisi being there is questionable. What is the maybe 3 main reasons, or in any petition, that Kisi is not qualified for this part?
Number one, you start with the incompetence, because it's the easiest to prove in this case. KSM, as I keep saying, Ghana will forever be grateful to you that you were the one who unmasked Kisi Ejabin at this very desk, this table. So this is the chair he sat in, right? Well, so that's
it's a different studio.
It's a different studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
The setup looks the same, but it's a different studio.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was you that he came and confessed that, hey, I didn't watch Oforiatta leave Ghana. He said, look, before Oforiatta left, he wrote a letter and I intercepted it. Then he said he went to NIB, National Security, allegedly. Hey, please, as I said, the NIB letter I've read. So NIB have removed themselves from this conversation. The other two, I'm sure, will do so pretty soon. Right? He went to all these places. So Kisi, as special prosecutor who takes evidence or relies on informants, etc., to do his work, he doesn't know whistleblowing, how to come out and inform the public. So Kisi doesn't know that when Amidu informed the public about the things Kufuor was doing, Ghanaians were very grateful, and it made the nation stronger. That here is a man who didn't look at his stomach, but thought that if the president is trying to interfere in the work, I'll come out and spill the beans. So showing that he's not even in tune with the nation, he's lost the plot. He can't live the constitution. Incompetence. So let me put the last sentence this way. So when you see your most valuable suspect, I'm trying to use it just like the way in football you have most valuable player. You see your most valuable suspect fleeing.
We didn't watch him leave. We were powerless. That is the truth. We were powerless. We saw him leave, but we couldn't prevent him from leaving at the airport.
You don't know how to shout. And OSP has police powers, so I can freely say that Kisi Ejabin is police. They have police powers. So just to make the sentence short, OSP is also a police institution. Policeman sees a suspect running, he cannot shout to the community, hey people, you can't do that. You can't shout. You can't shout to journalists so that they'll amplify it for us to help stop Oforiatta. Then what else can you do? So it speaks to that fact alone for failure, because he himself said he wanted to stop Oforiatta. Nobody forced him to. So if you say you want to stop Oforiatta and you don't know how to use tools to stop him, then what else can you do? So it speaks to incompetence and speaks to stated misbehavior. This simple thing, you don't know that your suspect is fleeing. You can't summon help. You can't shout for help. And when I say shout, it doesn't always have to be literal. What I mean is I do a press conference. A press conference is not a shouting match, etc. But I'm just using, I'm trying to do effective communication. That doing a press conference is equivalent to shouting that, hey, Munchino, like the way if you go to Makola and other places, the thief is right. Say, Julo. The moment you start saying Julo, then people will start running. He doesn't know how to apply this in our social fabric. Then we can't rely. We don't have a special prosecutor. So that's the point. Now, number 2, the conduct that is likely to bring the office into disrepute, ridicule, etc., is the lies he told. So NIB, even if we don't talk about the other institutions, in your tape he said it. You go to NIB, that's former BNI. They didn't help him to arrest Oforiatta.
National Security, nope. National Signals Bureau, nope. National Intelligence Bureau, 0.
And at that one, NIB say, they don't have anything like that, whether written or verbal, they don't have it. So that alone, he has called ridicule. You see, now we are talking, we are berating him. The office has lost stature. Can you imagine when Martin Amidu was in office? Amidu wouldn't come and tell such a lie. Amidu wouldn't say such a lie. So you see, the ridicule, disrepute, contempt is made out. So those are 2 main charges. So I don't even need to prove corruption in the thing. But of course, I'll be adding it. I don't need to. Hey, this is a no-brainer. No-brainer.
What do you see happening? Do you have the strong belief that eventually he is going to lose that position because of all the petitions? And you say it's a no-brainer in terms of proving that he's not fit for the job.
Yeah.
What do you see happening?
Yes,
Do you
so
actually see...
the way the petitions are many, I think what I see happening is that he just has to resign. Yeah, that would be the better thing. So he won't have to think about his ego, he himself, but for the betterment of the society. You know, in the Bible, when they were looking for, what's his name, Jesus. So the high priest came and said that the people, when they gathered, they said, it's better for us to give up Jesus so that there will be peace in society. Yes, it's wisdom. So when you have so many people agitating, because KSM, very soon Manasseh will come and he'll be interviewed. Apostle Abraham Lincoln Labi, the one who presented the last petition, you interview him. So the conversation will keep going on, sir, and many other people. You see, it's snowballing. It will get bigger and bigger. So the position is untenable.
So your best advice is that he should resign?
Absolutely.
In discussions, I've come to realize that his position is that I have a course. My duty here is to prevent corruption. My duty here is to showcase integrity. So I'm going to stay focused and maybe not be bothered by noises. I don't know whether you see the petitions as noises that are trying to distract what he intends to do.
They are not noises. So far from his own confession, he has aided a suspect to run away. So that alone makes his position untenable. It's untenable. This one strike. No, it's not even just one strike. Apart from enabling one, and it's not just one suspect to run away. The most valuable suspect. So a man you have 5 cases against, you see him fleeing. You couldn't arrest him. What else is left? And then you see the other things, that have come up. Now, this focus, number 2, we'll just use your broadcast alone, your interview with him. That alone is enough to nail him. I mentioned how he has bastardized NIB, former BNI. How can you come and say such lies about BNI? You've caused them a lot of reputational damage. That's what they were doing. And as I told you, I personally spoke on phone with people in charge of NIB at the time he said so. And then I followed up with an official letter to the current NIB administration. Both are saying negative. You know, the damage is done to NIB. KSM, your platform is very big. It goes all over the world. You know, the damage is done to NIB. What focus? You should get out of that office. What focus? You've bastardized other institutions and then you say you are getting focus. He's aided suspects to run away and he say he's getting focus. What focus? His focus is actually on allowing suspects to bolt. That's what his focus has been, not the work. His focus so far to have allowed Oforiatta and Sakori to bolt. His main achievement has been to allow suspects to run away. Look, they came again with false statements that they've saved Ghana 2.7 billion. I have it here. It is false. It's false. He can't, even in his own annual report, he then had to change it. Look, you see Sammy Darko on this news file. That's it there, KSM. He is speaking. They said 2.7 billion. It's false. $2.7 billion. Please, let's emphasize dollars. It's false. If you go on the OSP website right now and check, you won't find $2.7 billion.
What do you find?
The closer is about, so let's round it up, 2.7 billion cedis. And even that one is also even disputable. But looking at the time, it may not be conducive to go in there. So you see, so what I'm saying is that your interview alone is more than enough to nail him. Now, these other statements also are not good. So if you look at the 16 petitions, no, it's too much of a distraction. So sometimes, even when you are not liable or guilty, because of the distraction, preparing a defense for 16 petitions, attending these hearings, etc., that alone takes him away from the work. So he should just go, even without any proof that he's done wrong. Because what we are applying here is what is called the Caesar's wife's test. Caesar's wife said, how did he behave? How did he conduct himself in such a manner as to allow the rumors and all these things to fester? Meaning that he hasn't behaved himself well. So the context is that, and Julius Caesar. So you see that Caesar the emperor divorced his wife because his wife allowed a rumor to fester that Caesar's friend, Mark Antony, had slept with her. So Caesar said, no, you can't, whatever you did that engendered it. So you see, how come some women, once they marry, they don't even like to play with men, even if you are colleagues, then later you say, no, now I'm married, these jokes, I don't want, you don't want anything to fester. So how did Kisi, conduct himself to allow these rumors and things to fester? It means that he hasn't conducted himself well. So even using the Caesar's wife's test alone, sometimes it's not that you are guilty or liable, but the distraction, because like I said, today, for the past 3 weeks, every day, OSP, and it's all been negative. So really, the situation is untenable. It's untenable. Look, as for the charges, plenty. Look, I could show you another one. You know, when the Cecilia Dapa matter came out, he declined jurisdiction because he said when he did his investigations, he found money laundering. And that under the OSP Act, and true, money laundering is not listed as one of the offenses that the office can prosecute. Fair enough. Now, 2.5 years on, we are not aware of any court decision that says that the special prosecutor can prosecute for money laundering. Yet in the MPA case, the Mustafa Hamid, etc. case, he has charged some persons with money laundering. Then in this SML matter, he has charged certain persons with causing financial loss. Causing financial loss belongs to Dr. Ayeni, the Attorney General. This is the OSP's mandate. KSM, you won't see Section 179A. Causing financial loss under our law, Act 29, is called Section 179A. You see, the closest you see is 179C. That one is using public office for profit. Using public office, you see C here. You don't see A. You don't see that's his mandate. You don't see money laundering here. You don't see money laundering. You don't see causing financial loss. So how come 2 years ago you said there's no money laundering here, so you are sitting aloof? And that time I supported him. If he had gone to court and the court had so ruled, then we'll know that, okay, don't try it at all. But he wanted to be cautious, which, excuse me, I also support. That's to say, let's not gamble and lose this money. So he not just quiet, so he publicly declined jurisdiction and said for money laundering, it should be Yoko. Now, 2.5 years on, there's a case involving money laundering. Then he said, no, that one, you will take it to court. Then won't we suspect that you deliberately want to go to court so that they will win the case, the accused persons will win? The same for the causing financial loss. It's not stated here. So if anything at all, the best they could have done is that the time he declined jurisdiction the Cecilia Dapa matter, he could have caused, or maybe he will go to court for interpretation. There are ways that these things are done. Then the courts will tell him what his argument is that, and I have a soft spot for it, but it's not about soft spot. It's about what the law says. The law is the law.
The law is the law.
So it's not about my soft spot or emotions. What his argument is that if I start digging for corruption, I'm trying to do a corruption and corruption-related offenses, right, investigation. Then I come across money laundering. It's unfair that because it's not my mandate, I should leave it. Sometimes by the time you leave it and go and call the other institution to come, the suspect would have bolted with the money, etc. And you see, even the Sisladapa matter, what happened? He handed over the money. He handed over the money to Sisladapa. Of course, he will say it's a court order, but he could have challenged the order that no, I don't think we should hand over the money. Rather, we should hand over the money to Yoko. But he handed it over. So what we are saying is that there is some sympathy for saying if the man is investigating corruption or corruption-related offenses and comes across something outside his mandate, he should be able to add it. But yes, I'm saying that's an argument with not yet research. So please, it may be emotional.
Okay.
So I've not been able to research it. It just, sometimes it's not what you reason that's the law. Because everybody will tell you that, hey, money laundering, is this stated here? You say no. Section 79 of the Office of Special Prosecutor Act. These things are not in there. So most lawyers will tell you that don't be overzealous. Don't be over. If you want, go back to Parliament for amendment. So if that is so, why has Kisieja been chosen to charge Oforiata with causing financial loss? Why are you gambling? Why is he gambling? Then it fits into the suspicion that is deliberate to allow his former client and friend to run.
What's your view of this gambling? What do you personally think?
No, it's too dangerous. So what I think is that no, don't gamble with real figures, with a live case. So such a thing, what could have been done is that he could have come that, Kpebu, just like the way I've sued this money laundering thing. I've sued, we are in court, myself and Professor Jampo, on another matter because the Attorney General, also Godfrey Dami at the time, made it easy in order to frustrate the investigation. He gave an opinion that Yoko cannot investigate that matter. Just to make it, there isn't enough time to explain that. So for those reasons, I've gone to court. So, but they have my number, etc. Sometimes it's done. So they could have reached out to me. Oh, Kpebu, this matter of money laundering, since you are saying you have a soft spot for our opinion that we should be allowed. So it's like you are digging for gold. And then in the process, maybe you see iron ore, okay, or you see diamond. So the way the law is working, I mean, take the gold and go away. Leave the diamond and the iron. You see that? And then everybody will say, oh, why don't you bring it home? And then we can see, you see, we are using logic. We've not seen decided cases else. So in that case, you get lawyers to sue OSP. Then the courts will decide. So if the court say, oh, you didn't start out looking for diamond. You were told to go and get gold. But if where you get to gold, there is diamond, pick it along. Sure, we would have decided. So use a hypothetical case when he declined the Susidadapa matter. Then you say, okay, Kpebu sue. Or this other person sue. Let the courts decide. You didn't do that. 2.5 years on, Oforiata, you say, oh, you do causing financial loss when it's not in your books. Then MPA case, you say you do money laundering when it's not in your books. No. If he had there is no court case, because would have expected that if there was a court case, that now gave him the mandate as part of carrying the citizens along in governance. We have what we call whole of government approach or whole of society approach. They would have been required to teach us that new case, because KSM, the way our system works, you don't have a database which work instantaneously, that today you can just go and click and you see all the cases in Ghana at once. No, somebody has to take the case and go and upload it. So if it's not loaded, you won't know. So all I'm trying to say is that I cannot know all the laws in Ghana. That's even for me, a lawyer. So naturally, if you got a mandate, a certain court decision saying so, he is required to use it to educate people so that now citizens will be aware. Because remember, the law is not meant as a trap. We need to know the law beforehand. So he would have done education that, hey, people of Ghana, there is this court judgment that now says I can do money laundering and do financial loss. He hasn't done such a thing. So straight away, we're going to charge Oforiata and Co with causing financial loss and charging the MPA case causing money laundering. It raises suspicion that it's a ploy to allow people to escape free.
You said it raises some suspicion.
Yeah.
Is that what you expect? Do you think that it's possible that all this is designed to stall a particular process?
Oh, as for believe, I'm allowed to believe. I believe
Yes.
it. Yes, so I believe it. And
As for believe, you're allowed to believe it.
Yes, yes.
You
So
don't-
it's a believe.
you don't need evidence to believe.
Exactly. I believe it, because hey, your chief prosecutor, when who say nipa ni dwane, a man for mumro, munchino mami, or munchino, you can't do that. And I keep saying that. Don't forget the context is that when Kisi Jabi was in law school, it was a shock. Kisi Jabi made first class, University of Ghana law. So I'm like, our first class student, this simple thing, and even like I said, KSM, we all make mistakes. This, your interview with him, we saw it in public on the 5th of November. Is that the same day you did the interview?
No, it was recorded and played back on a different day. I
yeah.
think a day after or something. A day
Good.
after. Yeah.
So we saw it on the 5th of November. Then we started hitting. And you know, even before the 5th of November, do you know something? The reason I keep saying you are the legend, etc. Coincidentally, Saturday, 2nd November, Saturday, the 2nd November was a Saturday. That day, I said on TV3 that I believe there is I suspect, or I believe there's collusion, right? Yeah, you know, sometimes citizens, lay people start. But we, because we are lawyers, there are certain things lay people can say. But lawyer cannot say, because when you say it, they'll say, lawyer, you deal with evidence. Don't dabble in these beliefs and suspicions.
Yeah.
So we are constrained. But that Saturday, I broke ranks and said, no, I want to join the suspicion people. Then, thank God, KSM, the 5th of November, your interview came out. And it showed that he said he saw Oforiatta leave. He intercepted, and then he wouldn't do the right thing. I said, oh, you are. Then my belief is correct. Because for me, this is no brainer. Police, section 28 of your act says that you have police powers. So the powers that police use in arresting, you can do. Okay? So for police, if he has reasonable suspicion, policeman doesn't need to go to court for a warrant before arresting. No. We don't use warrant generally. So if you see your suspect running, and you don't arrest him, then I am entitled to believe that there is suspicion, there is collusion. So look at section 28, the police power. It says, the special prosecutor and authorized officers shall exercise the powers of a police officer specified in the Criminal and Other Offences, into brackets, Procedure Act 1960, Act 30, or any other enactment. So if you go into the Act 30, sections 12 to 14 deal with arrest. A police officer, all he needs to do is to have reasonable suspicion. And he, Kisi Ejabi, at that time, he had the suspicion because there were cases against Oforiatta, and he didn't do it. And if I may just add, you see, Manasseh did this expose where it showed that Kisi never even started the investigations until January this year. I've shared the thing with you. I think when you interview Manasseh, since he generated, he can throw more light on it. You see clearly that they started the investigations 29th of January 2025. Yet in the interview with you, Kisi said, oh, they started, so that's in 2023, they did 2024, but when KPMG started their work, then they stopped. So that when KPMG is done, they can look at it and see how.
We started the investigation in December 2023 when we got the petition from 3 journalists from the 4th Estate. So with our preliminary investigation, by the end of December, we already had a clear path where we were going. We had the evidence already. But we needed more, because what the petitioners brought us was an investigative journalist piece. Excellent. But to do corruption-related criminal investigation, you have to go 10 times more than what the investigative journalists have done. Because now you're going to go to court in respect of criminal charges. You don't go with just narratives and documents. As I said, you need to validate things. And so, by the ending of December 2023, the president then has stepped in and appointed KPMG. So what we said by way of public announcement was that we were going to put a little break on our investigation to wait for the KPMG report. It was parallel, going on at the same time. By the time KPMG started its work, we had already finished our preliminary investigation. So sometime in March, when the report was sent to the president, it confirmed to us that we were not on a wild goose chase. We were actually on to something, and that what we had at the time was good to go. But there were still pressing questions being raised by KPMG, which we also had, because those questions were really sitting on our minds. Then secondly, which is more important, KPMG made some conclusions which startled us. No, a preliminary investigation wasn't showing what they were saying. It was the reverse of what they were saying. So then, by the mandate reposed in me under the OSP regime as special prosecutor, I authorized full investigation. So we have been on this thing since December 23.
Yeah.
All this, na lie, because KSM, I've shared the thing with you. You will see that it says, and there are emails, that 29th of January this year, that's when they said they will start the investigation. And then, you know, on the Sammy Darko was denying, etc. But today, the new thing shows what we call the diary of action. Ask any policeman. When you say diary of action, it means that is where all the things are written about a case. So you see the diary of action I have in my hands here. The first day that there is a record, maybe the camera can capture it, 29th. Do you see it? The diary of action, the first day, 29th of January 2025. That's when Kisi Ejabin started. That's the diary of action. And yet he came and in your interview, he was saying all manner of stories. So it means that Oforiatta left when he didn't even know there was any case before him. So you see that it doesn't square up with the statement that he wanted to arrest Oforiatta. So you now, from the record, you haven't started investigation. So on what basis were you saying that you were going to arrest him? So you see that it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. It's the facts. It's the fact. This one is called diary of action. Interview a CID person and you tell you what is used for.
Let's look at the scenario where all these repetitions are taking place, and let's look at the scenario where Kisi Ejabin is no longer at the OSP. He's not in the office. What improvement are we going to see with all these talk about the arrest for the looters and the looting and what's his name? Oforiatta is no longer here. What happens to all of that?
Oh, it will continue. So number one, let's say Oforiatta's case. So finally they filed the charges in court, and we're going to do trial in absentia. That's, they will try Oforiatta in his absence. So for viewers, those of you who are against it, the reason some of us are in favor of it is, I mean, I'm always, the glass is half full instead of the glass is half empty. I always look at things on the positive side. If we, remember, this is just one of the cases. So if we succeeded in winning this case in his absence, then we have a right to be able to go against his assets. You see, enterprise insurance, data bank, then he has real estate, etc. Because to confiscate, you need to win a case. You have to get a conviction against him before you, when you say confiscate, that's permanent deprivation. The state is taking it, then they will sell it to recover the money. But whilst the case is in court, what can be done is what we call freezing. So you freeze it. It means don't move, don't sell again, don't do anything to it until we finish the case. So freezing can be done now whilst the case is ongoing.
So have any of the assets been frozen now? That
is the question. Kisi Ejabin has not given us any update. We've been asking about freezing, sir. We've not heard anything. He has to update us. So you see that all of this, he has to update us. It's law that generally he should take such steps to update us. So how can he freeze and not inform us? Then is it going to be like the way he lost the, you know, they took Oforiatta's name off the Interpol red list and Kisi kept quiet until journalists went and found out? It's not good. If you win, because you know, for us, we appreciate. So if he's able to freeze Oforiatta's assets, that's a big win. Because KSM, it means that for as long as the case is in court, those assets cannot be sold. So that's a big win. So why not? You should have done so, then we'll be excited. But that was before the revelation. So right now, since 5th of November, when I heard that he saw Oforiatta leave and he couldn't shout, blow the whistle, since then, I've lost trust for everything he's doing. No, because you can't trust him anymore. Something as simple as raise an alarm. Would have gone to the airport. Would have gone to the airport to wait. People will sleep there. So what we are asking for is that if you had called him in, you know you have 5 cases against him. So you know how much is in each case. Or even sometimes, even if it's not fully ready, you hazard a guess. So you allow him to go, but you say you are arresting him. So when we say arrest, KSM, we just touch you on the shoulder of this KSM, you're under arrest, blah, blah, your Miranda rights. You don't have to say anything, but anything you say will be taken down. After that, when we say arrest, it doesn't mean lock him up days, months. No. When you finish
so
that,
legally you're under arrest,
and then
but you can go and check your health.
So you're under arrest. Bring somebody to bail you. Then we'll say if we think that all these 5 cases put together, we need 1 billion. I'm just giving an example because I know how in recent times MPP have been complaining that the bail sums are too high. So you put bail so that some people will sign for him. So we would have had far extra money. Because if you have even put it at 500, even 100 million, KSM, no 100 million could have done. But 100 million for the 5 cases looks small. But even let's say that it was generous, 100 million Ghana cedis. But now it would have spoken that, the man did everything that has to be done by the books. Because remember, as I said, now that we are doing the trial, when we finish, we can confiscate some assets. But remember that the cases are 5. So now we don't know whether the assets we know will be enough for the 5 cases. So it's a risk. And also, like we're saying, because he didn't go to court early, you and I don't know whether in the meantime, Ofuriatta has succeeded in selling the shares in Data Bank and the enterprise insurance and other things. So we are left in the dark. So this doesn't bode well at all. So you see that the environment has become very toxic. Very, very toxic. So in such a case, Kisi just has to go. We need new management. So that will continue. So your question was that what will happen? It will continue. Kisi's deputy is far more senior to him at the bar. Cynthia Lamte is far more senior to Kisi. So the work will continue. Then we'll get a new special prosecutor. Then the work will continue. Then we'll do other reforms. And this episode, this embarrassment, this debacle, okay, Kisi's career having crashed right now, it will be a lesson to the next person how not to be a special prosecutor. So that's the lesson. This is a full book, how not to be a special prosecutor. So the next person will learn from it. So then that's progress we are making.
Oh my goodness. But before you leave, because our time is far gone, so you're part of the oral team.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible that you guys hyped it up so much and now you're having a problem to prove the hype? Or and I said, what's going on?
Look, Ora is working live and colored, all right? Ora is born to succeed and is succeeding. Let's look at one big Ora case, which is in the National Service case. Gifty Oware, the husband, the other people. So that's an Ora case. Okay?
But we are not feeling it. We've heard about the case. And the next thing we saw is possible that she's running for the GFA
she's on bail. Is it about 50? Okay, I've forgotten the figure. But I know ACB's bail is over 400 million. It's more than, look at the figures, they are in there, right? So it means that people have secured this trial. So meaning that if we were to find out that maybe these people ran, so you see what I mean by he should have arrested Ofuriatta, then say, must have post bail before you go.
These people are under arrest already.
Excellent. So if you look at it, the bail sums are huge. And so if you see Chairman Wuntimi, etc. Yeah, so if we had done that, we would have had some source of money, some assurance that when we win, even if these people ran, we would have had those things. So if you say Ora is not working, actually, not that you are saying it, you say you are not feeling. We should feel it because, look, Osei bail, former KMA boss and then former head of the National Service Authority, is 800 million. Gifty Oware, 10 million. Yes, that's money. Hanan and wife, 150 million. Edu Buahin and others, 300 million. You see it? Yes. And so we should be proud that Ora is working. Look at the Edu Buahin case. Please, we are not saying anybody is guilty yet, but the case is being in court so far. We've frozen the estate, Mayfair properties. About 27 houses, etc. They've been frozen. So you see, so that's Ora working. Of course, to be fair to the record, that one, Raymond Acha handled it personally. But Raymond Acha was on the committee. So when we say it's ORA, he can never take himself out of ORA. He's not even seeking to do so. So we added to the ORA cases. What happened that we are not feeling it is that the courts went on break. Officially, it's about 2.5 months. But usually we add another 2 weeks. So it becomes 3 months. So usually the high courts go on break, legal vacation, from 1st August. Then come sometime in 2nd week of October. But like I said, everybody wants to rest a bit. So sometimes you add a few weeks, then it becomes the whole of October. So the whole of July, the cases didn't go to court. No, sorry, the whole of August, September, and then latter part of October, we started.
So that's how I felt like we were not feeling anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and the national service case, let's mention to the credit of Dr. Ayini that there are some of the cases that they have agreed to do plea bargain, so they are going to return the money. Yes, they are going to return the money. So we'll get something back. People, let's be hopeful. Let's be hopeful. ORA is working. No weapon fashioned against ORA will succeed. No weapon fashioned against ORA will succeed. So rather, ORA is going to succeed. Yes.
On that note, folks, we show you some love.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.